believe these are the remaining archives I still have to read through. Yeah, because it still says new. The earlier ones were like before the first chapter. It's so funny too because I was looking back on my previous parts and I was sitting here. My mind is like, oh no, I didn't put enough like commentary on most cases. I mean, it's fine though. I mean, it's not like I have anything to really add other than the main girl meeting the transfer student that is originally from the mountains with no technology whatsoever. Yeah, let's... Oh shit, okay, well, there's the problem. I misclicked. Yeah, let's go back. Because that's not what I wanted to do. I was supposed to read volume 3 and not the 4th. I had it backwards. Yeah. Because I fucking double-clicked, that's why. No, oh, wait a minute. There we go. Damn. Did we just went through a time warp?
午前0時を確認しました。前回更新より24時間経過。バックアップ開始。レコード送信。周囲の地形をスキャンします。大気成分、窒素異常なし、酸素異常なし、アルゴン異常なし、二酸化炭素異常なし。
I assume the word nominal means normal. And that's from that wording alone.
第5仮説要素。異常、異常、異常、あり。
Well, that's not good.
周囲の時空連続体に齟齬を確認。第一種危険物との遭遇と断定。視覚領域を主観から客観に変更。自律回路を予備電源に、計測回路を主電源に変更。カメラを赤外線計測から虚数線計測に変更。では、これより戦闘行為の記述を開始します。
I didn't even know it tracks.
主よ、どうか我が身を守りたまえ。
Mizaki City was a thickly wooded area. Urban development continued unabated, but Mother Nature still drew breath in its outskirts. Wise old trees had been turned into lumber. The leaves had begun to turn to mulch. Even though the birds who curiously tilted their heads had moved on, the verdure lived on, a testament to its enduring strength. Until the time came that the devouring lights of civilization became powerful enough to encroach upon nature's mysterious domain. Yeah, if only we go back to simpler times. These woods were no exception. The outlying border between Mizaki City and Mizaki Hills had been left untouched. Though driven from their nests and dens here, wildlife continued to subsist even today. No longer able to return to the days before man, This was just like any other forest situated next to a town.
Hey dido dido, the cat and the fiddle.
Somebody singing. Winter had arrived in the woods. The chill cut like a razor. The icy air so thick it could reach to one's bones. Exposed cheeks stiffened, and wisps of breath formed swirls in the air before disappearing. It was 1 degree above freezing. The cold snap penetrated every nook and cranny of the woods, from the ground to the trees to the wildlife. The forest allowed nobody entry during the day. During the winter, it willed the animals to slumber. The still evening air felt like the stagnant breath of the lingering dead. The forest consumed the moonlight, obscuring the sight of even the closest of precipices, however you call it, and hastening the untimely doom of any soul unfortunate enough to become lost within. The only noises to be heard were the whisperings of the wind and the murmurings of the stream. The immortal darkness stifled any sense of life. Not the breath of an animal, much less that of a person, was drawn in this place. However, a figure in black, not of this place, skulked within. It cast the tiniest, frailest of silhouettes, like a small boat lost in a sea of fog. Its trepidatious footsteps echoed through the woods. There, exiting the veil of trees, was the unmistakable likeness of a young girl. I'm assuming it's Alice.
To see such cleft under this run away with the spoon.
来たぞ来たぞ。いるぞいるぞ。誰が誰が？誰と誰が？お腹は減ったの？お腹は鳴ったさ。どっちが食べる？どっちも食べる。君は左手。お前は右手。歓迎しないと。感激しないと。
I don't even know what they are. They definitely look like demonic beings.
何しろようやく楽しいお客。ついでにお腹と頸骨も。せっかくだからよく噛まないと。
The shadows in the trees laughed ominously. A hallucination, an illusion, or perhaps something real? The shadows frolicked in time to the girl's pace.
さあさあさあさあ。もっと奥へ、もっと奥へ。ところでダイスは細工済み？お腹の重いローデット。端っこかじったエッジワーク。どうでもいいけど肝心要の6の目だけは出さないように。
What is this, like a board game by now? The girl knitted her eyebrows. She heard voices and felt the presence of things that should not be. Scary enough to frighten this particular girl? As if. Her tightly pursed lips betrayed not a hint of fear. The girl walked of her own volition. If she had truly felt fear, her legs would be frozen. Deep within the trees, she was perfectly aware of the two humanoid figures stalking her through the still night air.
見たぞ見たぞ。 来るぞ来るぞ。もう諦めろ。もう帰れない。
あんなに教えてあげたのに。
よそに消えないお前が悪い。
Scary. The girl halted her steps. The racket from the accompanying voices died in turn. The babbling brook suddenly sounded like a crackling fire. Accompanying. And then... What? Yeah. The evil smiles, is that what? Across the shallow stream, something appeared that should not exist in the city, much less these woods.
こんばんは。話のわかる人はいる？
Well, that's good. That's one hell of an encounter. The girl addressed them calmly. These men with their Glasgow grins creeped toward her like two slugs.
そう。ただの墓守り。監視だけが仕事なのね。失敗したわ。これなら青子に任せればよかった。ああ、けど。
The one grinning man stood still, the other shaking violently as if unable to contain himself any longer, turned toward the girl.
青子にはまだ荷が重いわね。そんな姿だけど、あなたたちは一人前の魔術師のようだし。
Her black outfit stirred. In her right hand, she held a vitreous cat, darker than the deepest night. The two Glasgow men let out a yelp of caution and incoherent fear. It was at this moment that they finally bared their intent and emotion.
さようなら、お客様。きっと一瞬だろうから、お別れだけ言っておくわ。
The two shuddered at her words. They had no mouths, nor ears or brains to begin with. For creatures like these, words were redundant. All that existed was the present. For these soulless creatures, fears and hopes were nothing more than an unimaginable future. Then what could be this feeling of foreboding they felt? The spine-chilling miracle that would rip them to pieces not moments from now.
さあ、ごっこ遊びをしましょう。お人形さん。
Her song sounded like a bell, echoing through the white woods. The girl's voice vanquished the frost that had gripped the trees. Then... Well, is that the familiar she summoned?
さあ、赤ずきんの登場だ。
Did he? Oh, he dropped. Yeah, I'll check it out later. Right after I do my reading sessions. The curtains opened on Diddle Diddle, the banquet of the night. In confusion, one slit-mouthed man swooped toward the girl. In fear, the other fled into the woods behind him. The deformed humanoid darted forth, kicking out water as it rushed the girl. She already knew what this fiend was. The grinning figure had scissors for hands and a demon's heart. It was a wretch who kidnapped children, mercilessly rendering them into pieces.
トゥイドル。
お任せお任せ。
ようやく出番だ。あらよったん。
The piglets bounded and rebounded like paddle balls. The stuffed animals, over 3 feet in length, jumped and weaved their way between the trees. Even with these strange creatures before him, the grinning man did not so much as blink. He raised his arms, but what emerged from his coat sleeves were not the human appendages you would expect. In their place, fiendish cleavers more than 1.5 feet in length. These appendages, which had torn so much of their prey to pieces, sliced cleanly through the flying pig's skulls. They think they can combat against the familiars, but it just happened like that. His limbs froze in place. The pigs' bodies were sliced perfectly in half. And then... And that's one moment they knew they fucked up. Bisected from head to tail, the pig's innards became as alligator jaws and clamped down upon the grinning man's arms. From fingertips to shoulders, they were swallowed whole. It was all it took to rob the man of control over his entire body. Another shiver of fear. These were no mere pig familiars. Immediately he realized that these were stapler monsters disguised as mere pigs.
捕まえたのはダムでした。
捕まえたのは D だってば。
ああでも残念。ご主人様は無口で無情で無関心。
結局どっちの手柄も同じこと。
London Bridge is broken down, broken down, broken down.
Damn, we're gonna bring the London Bridge poet in there. Impossible, its presence murmured 3 times. Not possible. Not possible. Not possible. Talking pigs were one thing. Even having one's arms chopped off was in the realm of occupational hazard. In an instant, the wood was enveloped in a dense wave of magical energy. Though vexing, it was still impressive. None of these facts were particularly extraordinary. These rare familiars, their bizarre attack, the sheer innate magical energy to overwhelm others. He had experience with all these things. His employer was skilled enough to achieve all of this as well. However,
どうするどうする？いつまで放置？
手足一本まばたきだって贅沢だ。
take an arm, they say.
お支払いは面倒でもできればポンドでお願いします。
What were they? Not vessels. Not living creatures. Not beings powered by magic circuits. Even though only his arms had been bitten, none of his body would move. It was nothing like being bound or weakened. This felt more like he had become words written in a book, fated to keep to their page. As the grinning figure's deformities indicated, he had overcome numerous curiosities and monstrosities, illusions, enthrallment, compulsions, freezings, putrefactions, and even petrifications, a power granted to only the pinnacle of mystic eyes. From poisons to magecraft, he had weathered a great deal, but this was something different altogether. The penalty that bound him now was based on different principles from blood, flesh, oxygen, or heat. It was an unknown restraint that followed no rules he knew. Well, that's going to be difficult. Indeed, though it was terrifying to admit, it was as if he'd encountered something alien to everything in this world.
London Bridge is broken down, my fair lady.
Yeah. Do the pocket sand meme. Fangs sank into his left and right shoulders. For the first time in this form, he felt rage seethe up inside him. The basis of all things had to be absolute. All mystics, all things bizarre obeyed some set of laws. But these pigs ignored this, along with his dignity.
さあ3日で衰弱
6日で溺死
半年経てば惨めな骸骨
でもご無礼
面倒だから今殺そうか
A howl. Though he had no voice, he let out an exasperated scream.
うげ
なんて便利自分の腕を外せる機構
お前こそ三国一のものの不よ
Just use amputation, forehead. The talkative pigs fell into the stream. That exasperated scream was the sound of the figure tearing his arms from their sockets. Armless, he rushed the girl.
役立たず。後でお仕置きが必要ね。
He may have lost his mangled arms, but not the object of his malice. A mystic eye to pierce the heart of its victim. Oh, I see how it is. A magic circuit designed to stop a beating heart. It was beautiful in its simplicity. At point-blank range, it was the equivalent of an unavoidable shotgun blast. But tragically, that eye was all he had.
Build up with wood and clay, wood and clay, wood and clay. Build up with wood and clay, my fair lady.
He failed to realize that her song had changed. Man got fucking crushed by trees. That's what happened. Yeah. For the giant, the earth-shattering strike was akin to the act of shooing away an insect. Its green, verdant veins pulsed. Oaken bark covered its body, hardened sufficiently over centuries to repel even a chainsaw. On its forehead, inscribed in all manner of colors, was the word and meth. Though judging from its misspelling, the inscription was purely decorative. The Thames troll. I thought this was going to be a thing made of bark and whatnot. It also went by the moniker Falling Down, or alternatively, the Great Bridge. Admired in different forms, it was the first of 4 miracles.
テムズ、もう一体のお願い。
The giant responded to the girl's words. With roots rent deep into the earth, it raised its left arm to the heavens without moving a step. Elsewhere in the forest, the grinning figure who had chosen to flee the battle was running through the night forest at full speed. Record and provide a detailed description of the enemy. Those were the orders assigned to him. He poured all of his energy into escaping this forest with which he had become so familiar. In case of emergency, the plan was for one to challenge the enemy while the other made a tactical retreat in order to report to their master. He dashed through the forest. So gripped by fear, he was confident in his ability to perform the mission he was designed for. Nothing could catch him in these woods. Even the wolves could not track him. His bird-like legs thumped as they kicked the ground. Perhaps it was his creator's eccentric tastes that dictated their form when optimizing them for running. The grinning man could reach a maximum speed of 45 miles per hour, well past the limits of any bipedal creature. After securing a distance of several miles, he turned around to confirm his safety. There was no sign of pursuit. His crescent-shaped mouth, say nay, slackened in relief. And then... uh-oh. After facing forward once more, he looked up to lock eyes with his doom.
London Bridge is broken down, broken down, broken down.
In the distance, he could hear the dark rhymes of Mother Goose. Countless vines extended from the ground. They formed into a monstrosity that conjured up images of an arced bridge, something resembling a giant arm.
London Bridge is broken down, my fair lady.
It definitely looks like an arm made of bark, that's for damn sure.
最終報告
Well,
生還は困難
unable to complete.
解析は困難転送は困難状況を終了しますはあ主よどうかこの身を守り
「 済んだようね。お疲れ様。戻ってテムズ。次はもっと高価な場所ならいいのだけど。
The girl turned on her heel. The invaders who had set up shop in the woods were eliminated. She had no interest in whether they had been good or evil, nor how many victims they had claimed. The shackles of civic society held no sway over her. This was the way of a pure-blooded witch, the way of a mindster.
僕たちは？ねえ、僕たちは？
この腕抜けないんだけど。
噛んだままだと僕らも動けないっていうかさ。
ひどい。飛べない豚に用はないと。
次はお役に立ちます、きっと。生まれてこの方、失敗続きの僕らだけど。
壊れるまでに一度くらいは褒められたいね。
The girl let out a sigh and stepped into the stream. She removed her gloves and dipped her slender fingers into the ice water. I like how she's like, damn, I guess I completely forgot to pick those two up.
6の目は出すなって言うけど、6の目しか出ないようになってるわよね、あなたたち。
There was no response to her melancholy tone. In place of the once boisterous pigs were two black dice, now sitting in the palm of her hand. As the girl was about to say something to the scattered remains around her, she realized something that made her put a hand to her mouth.
お別れは済ませていたわね。目ぐらいは聞いておくべきだったかしら。
Her slender, pale fingers traced her lips, as if reluctant to part from them. Sighing again, she calmly left the dark woods the same way she had entered. Sounds like this daily night patrol, I suppose. Let's see, volume 4. Yeah, that's the last. Oh, wait. I thought it's going to be a read button right here and put back right here. It's like the other way around. God damn it. Okay. Let us rewind to a moment in the recent past. The scene took place on a Saturday morning in early December. Oh no. This. With third period over just before lunch, the only activity that remained before the scholastic day ended was homeroom. Two of Class C's students, Sojiro Suzuki and Hozuki Kinomi, were standing outside on the balcony overlooking the schoolyard. They were stuck waiting for their homeroom teacher, Mr. Kazuki Yamashiro, and could not leave until he arrived. Yeah, imagine. We're the waiting room. Lovely. The rest of their classmates were chatting idly in the classroom. Class A's Tobimaru Tsukiji was killing time alongside them. The listless trio discussed their weekend plans as they leaned on the veranda's railing.
木の実はベアでアルバイトか？バッカ、誰が日曜まで働くかったよな。明日はほら B 組の子たちと遊びに行く予定だったんだけどな。なんかうちから出られねえ。それはつまりまた振られたのか？ うわ直撃。言いづらいことをまっすぐ言うよね、しずきくんってば。
Oh, hey, it's the guy who was working with him at the Chinese restaurant last part or two ago, where he got hit by a frying pan in a cartoonish way.
そりゃ毎日てめえのバカ面見てれば、ひよこだって振られるって言葉を覚えるだろうよ。自滅するのは勝手だけどな。くれぐれもその字に変な遊び教えんなよ。はあ？そりゃ殿下の方じゃねえの。気ぃつけろよ、しずき。築地はマジで腹黒いからよ。
I mean, I don't know the third dude, but I guess I'll keep that in mind, I guess.
こいつの頭の中はほら、あれ、ゴミ捨て場の張り紙？あんな感じだから、くっきり使えるもんと使えないもん分けてんだよ。
ああ、それは知ってる。ところで唐突に思ったんだが、飛び丸の中じゃ木の実はどういう扱いなんだ？
そうだな。粗大ゴミ回収は金でももらわねえと割り合わなくなるんじゃねえか。国が無料で回収するのはそろそろおしまいってとこ。はあ？何言ってんのお前。使い古しのタンスとか高く売れるじゃん。
Cabinets? You mean as in cabinet positions?
俺みたいな開封即使用みたいな男がこれからのトレンドなわけでしょ。ほら、コンビニで売ってる使い捨てカメラとか大人気だし、ようやく流行が俺の消費文明に追いついたと。
Oh, or if you meant cabinets as in, like within like furniture wise, then sure.
じゃあ木の実はバイトと。飛び丸は？
Kinomi's working this weekend? Damn, he has no free time. He has little to no free time this time.
来るからね、ちゃんと俺の時代。俺はちょい塩だ。親父の客が来てるんで接待しなきゃなら、街の案内をしてくれとさ。聞けよ、人の話聞けよ。あのよ、俺は妹の相手してやるだけなんだよ。隣のクソ中華飯店の手伝いなんかしねえよ。
Wow.
その女は明日もバイトか？
いや、それが一日空いてる。今日はこれから遊園地でアルバイトだけど。
それって魔のきついランド？タフだね、しずき。あそこのバイトは柔道部の連中でも値を上げるって話じゃんか。
Yeah, you didn't even know? This Sojiro's a hardworking man. I'm pretty sure on the look on Sojiro's face, he doesn't show any sort of fatigue whatsoever. I mean, I could be wrong though.
なんと、まさか猫黒の荷物運びより辛い。
X-Fed, which is a parody word for a FedEx. God, the look on his face. This is the art. I mean, the eyebrows are a bit big and all, but this is the art style from like 2010s and whatnot. I rather prefer this art style than the fucking shit that gets traced. So.
いや、そこまではよく。しかし、山城の野郎おっせえな。見ろ、隣の B 組すらお帰りになられてるぞ。
Yeah, imagine like impatiently waiting for over half an hour and they'd be like, you know what, fuck this, we're leaving.
だな。 仕方ね。面倒だが呼んでくるか。その字を遅刻させるわけにはいかねえし。
What the hell is the teacher even doing just to make it so the students wait for over half an hour by then? Like, what the fuck? I mean, that's more time for me to sleep, but still. Holy shit. And as if by design, the moment Tomomaru Tsukiji stood up warily from the balcony railing. Oh, lovely. The school's PA system chime rang.
2年 C 組の静木宗十郎くん、山城先生がお呼びです。至急職員室まで来てください。繰り返します。2年 C 組の
Uh-oh. He's in trouble. I guess. I don't know. An awkward silence fell upon the three. I thought it was going to be fell upon thee, but after a long 5 seconds, Sojiro said goodbye and headed back inside.
面白いことねえな。誰か校庭にミステリーサークルとか作ってくんねえかな。
Crop circle in the schoolyard. Kinomi grumbled, slouching his shoulders and succumbing to his lethargy.
他人の妄想力に期待すんなよ。刺激が欲しいならてめえでイベントを起こせ。ほら、クラス分け発表の時よろしく。青崎に突っかかればすぐだぜ。
Challenge Aoko in an inter-class debate.
よみがえるトラウマ、やだよ。会長の大立ち回りは面白いのを通り越して恐ろしいよ。善良な一男子生徒としちゃ美少女が転校してくるだけでいいんだよ。まあ普通の子じゃつまんないからハリウッドのプロデューサーとかイギリスの歌姫とか。
どんなくくりだそりゃ。そこは火星のお姫様あたりにしとけよ。
それと2年 C 組の皆さんへ山城先生から伝言です。山城先生は訳あってホームルームを欠席しますので各自勝手に下校しちゃってくださいね。それではでは。
He didn't. That's so. That is wild. Imagine having an unexpected day off.
以上、放送室からお知らせしました。
What the absolute hell?
どうよこれ。山城新車買ってからフリーダムすぎね。このままではあの真新しいセルビアに俺のギザ銃がうなりかねん。
鍵穴にガム程度にしとけ。教師の発給はマジ同情に値するからな。
The two frenemies returned to the classroom, complaining all the while. Their concern for their mutual friend, summoned to the faculty office completely out of mind. Wow.
納得いきません。生徒のアルバイトは認められています。学校公認の職場であるなら社会経験の一環として推奨すると校則にもありますが。
そうなんだけどね。彼の場合やりすぎなのが問題なわけで。仮にもし認可していない労働基準法に反してそうなところで働いてたら困るでしょ。うちも彼も。
The volatile tension between the ruthless student council president and the easygoing modern language teacher permeated the room. Praying to be spared from the impending confrontation, the other teachers hurriedly relocated to the meeting room. You mean it's damn. The rest of the other teachers are afraid of Aoko Ozaki, apparently. I always wonder that too, because Because I've only heard the VN. It's like, I was like, damn, I didn't know the Aozaki is different compared to the Melty Blood. By the time Mr. Yamashiro noticed this, the only other person in the room was the student council president, Aoko Ozaki.
逃げたか。ひどいな、みんな。怖いのは僕に押し付けてばっかりだもんな。
I guess they're afraid to debate her. I don't fucking know. I don't know why they're telling. I don't know if they're why they're doing. They're making you do the work.
話の続きです、先生。仮に彼が指定以外のアルバイトをしているとしたら、それは彼の要求に学校側が応えていないからではありませんか？下宿先の家賃を奨学金で賄えとは言いませんが、時間の許す限り働きたいという要望は考慮すべきです。指定外のアルバイトを疑うのなら、まず働き先は1生徒につき1件だけという規則を改めてください。
To only one job? Oh, right. It's because Sojiro is picking up the second job at an amusement park, huh? Is that what happened? Was that the reason why that rose to this debate? After hearing her out and realizing there was no way she would back down, Mr. Yamashiro hung his head. This was supposed to be easy. The plan was to call in the student rumored to be working multiple jobs, confirm whether the rumor was true, and if so, give him a warning and some guidance, then head to lunch with the knowledge that all was right with the world. The student council president, who was coincidentally in the faculty room at the time, had heard the entire issue and decided to call out this injustice. As far as Mr. Yamashiro was concerned, she was in the right, and he was well aware of the aforementioned student's situation. Personally, he would have liked to help, but among the faculty, he was just a new kid on the block. He wanted to stay on the vice principal's good side, and at the very least, not lose his job, as badly paid as it was.
こればかりはね。副教頭先生直々の注意なんで、僕も助けてあげられないんだよ。
それでしたら、落としどころがあればいいんですね。
What does she mean by this? The student council president removed the documents from her bag. It was a document that had been brought up in the morning's faculty meeting, bringing a host of headaches with it.
青崎くん、それは。
はい。愛田協会のボランティア参加の申告書です。今月も希望者ゼロですね。敬虔なクリスチャンである副教頭先生はさぞお気を悪くしているかと。
That would certainly bother a devout Christian like the vice principal.
我が校の生徒には新人が足りんと今朝も嘆かれていたとか？
そうだけど、どうして君が今朝の職員会議の内容を知っているか聞きたいよ、本当。
Mr. Yamashiro scratched his head, but his eyes were smiling gleefully. He had figured out the student council president's objective.
魚心あれば水心ありですか。教会への奉仕活動はボランティアだけど、きちんと謝礼が出る。あれも形の上では学校側が推奨する社会見学だからね。副教頭先生は参加者が出たことに喜び、加えて
その参加希望者がすでに他のアルバイトについていた場合、学校側の認可が2つになっちゃいますね。前例にしてはいい落としどころだと思いますが。
Mr. Yamashiro raised his hands in surrender. There were few students able to both raise a complaint and propose a proper solution. Perhaps it was her big sisterly disposition that made this girl so simultaneously feared yet trusted.
よし、その方向で攻めてみよう。うまくいくよう祈ってくれよ。
What, I gotta do a pray gate for you?
他力本願は嫌いです。悪巧みに乗ってくれるのならきちんと活躍してください、山城先生。
With a bow, the student council president turned to leave the faculty room.
ああ、待った待った。君も残るんだ。今からしずきくんを呼ぶから、ちゃんと面倒見てもらわないと。
は
Though you can tell by the look on the frustration on her face. The girl's cool eyes narrowed. Unable to process what she had just heard, her expression turned to a scowl. God, the fucking expressions on her face. It's hard to take her seriously.
いや、参加希望者は一人より二人の方がいいだろう。
I wonder if it's the tsundere trope that we're trying to put into her, but I'm not really sure.
青崎くんがフォローしてくれるなら僕も安心だしね。
ちょっと先生。
ああ、放送室。2年 C 組のしずき宗十郎くん、至急職員室に来てください。で、放送お願いします。
だから先生。
いやー、これで万全だ。まさか頭痛の種が同時に消え去るなんて、今日はついてる。ああ、けど青崎くん、ずいぶん親身になってくれるんだね。何？もしかしてああいうのがタイプ？あ、放送室さん、ついでに生徒会長が心からお待ちしていますと付け足して。
Uh-oh.
って山城
Wow.